So everybody's in a rush to AI-ify their business as much as they can, and that makes me want to play a little game. I call this game, Should You AI-ify That? Now, important distinction to make here. This is not can you AI-ify that? A lot of these things I'm going to talk about, you probably can AI-ify. You can probably build agents or work with specialists who can set some of this stuff up for you. Mine is more, should you AI-ify it? And I'll tell you why I think you should or shouldn't. Another caveat here, because it's AI and because it's nuanced, because it's complicated, and there's a million ingredients in every recipe here. I'll also probably be giving you a lot of yes, but or no, but. So I'm going to give you my kind of immediate gut yes or no, and then we'll talk a little bit about why. And if there's a but, then we'll dive into that too. So let's start with content strategy. I would say no, you cannot AI-ify this, but you can use AI to put together your strategy. The reason why I say you can't just AI-ify your strategy is because, like your business, it's personal. There's a lot that goes into it, and just asking AI to build you a generic strategy for content or for any other parts of your business, it's a mistake. The only way to do it right is to give it a ton of different inputs, a ton of different information, all the nuance, everything from your sales process to who your audience is, to who your brand is, what your brand represents, all those things. So you can't just AI-ify your strategy unless you feed all the information. So if you have all the information that you can feed it, then sure, yes, you can use AI to help assemble your strategy in a way that makes sense. You can also use it for competitor research and things like that. But don't just go into a strategy session trying to AI it. It'll never work. You have to have the inputs, and then you can use AI to augment it. That will also be probably a running theme through a lot of these. Number two, this may be a bit of a hot take, your newsletter. Should you AI-ify that? Again, my gut instinct here is no. I wish you could do it better. I've tried. But the reason why I say no is because depending on what you're doing, it can be hard to get all that information via AI. So if you're talking about featured locations, if you're curating relevant links, if you're putting together company news, things like that, you're still going to have to do that all the human way and gather that all yourself. You're still going to have to know what your audience's taste is, what they like, what they don't like, what's going to resonate. Again, but you can use AI to amalgamate. I just got called out for using the word amalgamate by a friend who said it was a weird word. So I'm going to switch that. You can use that to gather all the pieces once you have them in place, but I don't think that AI can be just a strictly plug and play newsletter development tool. I've tried to have it curate links for certain clients based on their brand and their audience, and it just comes back with garbage most of the time. So can you AI it? Probably. Should you AI it? I'd say augment with AI, but really make that a human-led endeavor. Number three, blog content. Should you AI this? Yeah, 100%. You should definitely AI this. Again, the caveat here is that you need to make sure that you're giving it high quality inputs. If you're just asking AI to write you a blog article based on a topic with no nuance or no unique perspectives or no insights, probably not going to turn out very well. It's going to fall into that mountain of meh, that puddle of AI slop. So I wouldn't recommend it. But generally speaking, if you have the right inputs, yes, you can and probably should AI your blog content. Number four, social content falls in the same wheelhouse as your blog content. Yes, you should AI-ify that. Again, with the right parameters, frameworks, and tools in place. You don't just want to be using it to create random ad hoc, directionless, purposeless social content. Your audience will see right through it. However, if you have the ideas and you have the thoughts and you have your branding in place and you can explain to the AI what you want, yeah, absolutely AI-ify your social content. Number five, this is an interesting one, creative. So talking about things like hero images for blog content or content for social media or whatever it might be. And yes, I think you should AI-ify that, with the caveat being learn how to use the tools properly, so you're not just creating things that look blatantly like AI. There's a lot that goes into figuring out how to use these tools to create the outputs that you're looking for, but it can definitely help in a lot of ways. This applies definitely to your blog content and to your social media content, but it also can be applied really usefully in space photos for your website, things like that. So if you have, say, photos of empty spaces in your location or empty rooms or empty offices, but you want it to look full, you want it to look like there's people in the photo, you can use AI to add some movement or some people into that image to help bring it to life. So you can take that one asset and turn it into kind of dual purpose. So yes, creative, if you know how to do it properly, you can AI-ify that. You should AI-ify that. Number six, technical email elements. So I'm not talking about the actual creative written components that go into your emails. This is more about logic and systems for things like automations and flows and sequences and what you're emailing and why. This, I would say, no, you should not AI-ify this. There's a lot of logic goes into it. The same way you wouldn't want to AI-ify your strategy, you probably wouldn't want to AI-ify your complex email automation or marketing systems. The reason is this takes a lot of understanding about your audience, their journey, their behavior, what happens in the lead up to them becoming a lead or a member in your email list. Also, what happens after based on certain behaviors. So you can try to AI-ify this, but unless you're feeding the AI like every possible imaginable input that you have, not get the right logic out of it. So this is something I would not AI-ify. Number 7, building off the last one and kind of adding to the blog and social element, should you AI-ify your email outputs? Yes, you should do this. Again, following the same caveat that you make sure that you have structures and frameworks in place to get high quality content out of it, and that you're feeding it the material that you want it to create the emails around. So never just ask it to create you an email based on X, Y, or Z. Always give it as much information as you can. This can apply to broadcast emails. So, like if you're sending a promotional offer or an event invite or a member correspondence of some sort, yes, definitely AI-ify that. I think it can also extend to your email automations and sequences. So once you've done the due diligence and the strategic planning and ideation in terms of what that flow is going to look like and what's going to go into it and why, who it's going to go to, when, what it's going to say, then you can use all of that logic to create the actual email outputs that go into that sequence. So should you AI-ify your technical elements? No. Should you AI-ify your actual written components that go into your emails? Yeah. As long as you know what you're doing, you're creating high quality emails, absolutely do it. I always say you've got to know what good looks like. So you have to understand what a good email looks like in order to create a good email with AI. But if you do, then yes, absolutely do that. They'll save you a ton of time. Number 8, member spotlights, team interviews, and expert features. Should you AI-ify this? No, but, right? Again, back to the but. So it's hard to AI-ify things like member features, team features, or expert interviews, or even local content where you're going on profiling areas in your neighborhood or whatever it might be. That's hard to AI-ify because you still need to understand what information you want to get from that person. You need to conduct the interview. I haven't met a person in the world who would feel comfortable being interviewed by a robot yet, even if the technology was there for them to do so. So that part of it is very human. You still need to do the interview, you still need to get the information from that person. Even if you're not interviewing them, even if you're sending them a questionnaire, you still have to populate the questionnaire or send the questions that you want answered based on what you want your member spotlight or team feature or expert feature to look like. So I would not AI-ify that. The but here, the caveat, you can, once you have that source material, I call it asset zero, once you have that in place, then yes, you can take that interview and the transcript or the questions that they've answered and use AI to create the outputs, a multitude, whether it's blog and social media and email or whatever it might be. So no, don't AI-ify the source of those assets, but yes, you should AI-ify the creation of the subsequent supporting elements that you're putting with it. Number 9, SEO. Should you AI-ify SEO? No, I don't think so. Trust me, I've tried. I wish that I could do this. I have tried in a multitude of ways to use AI to pull relevant keywords to help build SEO strategy. It just doesn't work. It doesn't really grasp the keywords. I don't think it can properly access the relevant data that you need to make SEO-based decisions. So I would not use AI to do SEO research or SEO strategy or planning. But once you have the keywords in place, if you have an understanding of how to create great SEO content in terms of keyword density, how to structure an article for SEO or by extension AEO or search engine optimization, then yes, you can use AI to build the content around that. As long as you have the right keywords and you have the right approach and the right framework to create high quality content, rather than just kind of the meh, whatever content that, Google will deem as not good and not even ranked. So, kind of wasting all your efforts. So should you AI-ify SEO? No, in terms of keywords, keyword research and strategy. Yes, in terms of creating content for SEO, as long as you know what you're doing, get a good output out of it. Number 10, marketing analytics. Should you AI-ify that? Yes, you can. You definitely can. You can build agents that can pull information from various sources like your Google Analytics or your email marketing platform or whatever you use to track your analytics. So you can set that up. There's a little bit of complexity in how you do that, but it does make gathering all that intel and all that data a lot easier and a lot faster. But the caveat here is that I don't generally trust AI to assess and evaluate those metrics and give you a real understanding of what it means. I've tried that as well. It kind of gets it, but again, there's a lot of nuance to your business. There's a lot of nuance to your marketing and your audience and the things that you're doing and why you're doing it. So I haven't found that AI has been particularly helpful in helping me to understand exactly what these metrics might mean specifically. You can definitely use AI to kind of ask questions about what the signals might be that you're getting from your metrics, but I wouldn't take that as the gospel. So should you AI-ify your metrics? Yes, in terms of gathering them all, not so much in terms of analyzing and assessing them and figuring out what they mean and what you should do with it. So again, lots of yes buts or no buts here, but hopefully this helps. Number 11, and this is kind of a big, broad, interesting one, and it really mostly applies to anybody who has this, but should you AI-ify your marketing department? I don't know. That's a maybe. And the reason I say that is because it depends what AI-ifying your marketing department actually looks like. Are you thinking about getting rid of all your staff and all your specialists in order to only use AI? Probably not a good idea. Again, trying to find anybody who has a good enough understanding of all those various elements, whether it's Google Ads or content or whatever it might be, who understands them well enough to use AI well enough to create the outputs that you would get from your specialists. Probably not going to happen. Hiring full time even is hard enough. I've done it. It's hard to find a unicorn person who can cover all those bases and do it well enough that it's going to provide an ROI for you. So in that capacity, no, you should not AI-ify your marketing team. However, if you're asking in terms of should you put in place AI systems and tools that make your marketing team faster, more efficient, more dialed, then yes, absolutely, you should AI-ify that. But I would just say, don't think that you can replace full human capacity in your marketing department with AI yet. You still need a good operator who still knows enough about those specific elements that they can manage it for you. But do definitely look for more tools that you can use to optimize and streamline productivity, outputs, quality, speed, all those kind of things. Last but not least, and I think this is number 12, thought leadership. Should you AI-ify your thought leadership? And so this is kind of a combination of a bunch of different things that we're talking about here, right? Should you AI-ify your thought leadership? No, but yes. And the reason I say that is with thought leadership, you can put stuff out on the internet, on LinkedIn, on your blog or YouTube or whatever it might be. You can put that stuff out there, but you need to have strategy behind it. And as I said before, AI-ifying your strategy, I don't love it. I've never found it to be particularly valuable. So much like I mentioned with the member spotlights and team interviews and expert features or whatever it might be, you need to have a strategy that informs what you're putting out there in terms of thought leadership. You need to organize your ideas and figure out what you're putting out there and why, what that funnel looks like, what action you want to have taken, and then you need to be the one who's recording or writing the fundamentals and putting them all into place. However, the yes part of that is that you can use AI once you have those source materials, that asset zero. As I said, you can use that to turn your one idea, thought leadership concept into a multitude of marketing assets. And actually, that brings to mind a bonus that I did not think about before I got on this recording, but I am thinking about now. And that is, should you AI-ify your content distribution? Yes, that is a big resounding yes. You can definitely AI-ify, and you should definitely AI-ify your content distribution. So that's this concept of taking this one idea that you have or this unique source material that you have, and then using AI to turn that into a multitude of content assets, from blog to email to social media to wherever else you might be using it, YouTube descriptions, podcast descriptions, show notes, wherever you're putting content out there, you can train an AI to do that for you in a fraction of the time that it would have taken. If you're interested in learning more about how to put that kind of distribution on autopilot with AI, drop me a comment, or send me an email, or send me a message, or whatever it might be. I've got something that might help you. So that's it. Should you AI-ify that? Speed round is maybe not as speedy as I wanted it to be, but here we are. Let me know what you think. What are you AI-ifying in your co-working business? What are you not AI-ifying? What do you think that you should or shouldn't AI-ify in your business? Let's hear it. I want to hear from you. That's all for now.